What's going on, guys? JSGC here, back again with another Manchester City video, where today we're going to be doing Man City's preview of our away game in Wales. Passport at the ready, taking on Swansea City in the EFL Cup, or the Carabao Cup, or the League Cup, whatever you want to call the competition. So before I do crack on with this preview, do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. SofaScore are going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest football scores from around the grounds. They're going to keep you guys up to date with the latest match information. They'll keep you up to date with the latest team news. They'll keep you up to date with the latest statistics and so much more. So do go and check them out. Links and details, they're in the description. It's a free app to download, and anyone that does download using my link in the description or the QR code on screen does help to support the future content created here on my channel. SofaScore, also a very highly rated app. So, having a look at this game, surely it's Rayan Cherki time. It's got to be Rayan Cherki time at the Swansea.com Stadium in the EFL Cup 4th round on Wednesday, 29th of October 2025, with a 7:45 PM GMT kickoff time, with this game being broadcast live on Sky Sports if you're not heading to Wales for this match. Now, the last time Man City played Swansea was back in 2021. That was also in a domestic cup competition. That was in the FA Cup that time, where Man City won by 3-1 away from home in that match. So, having a look at our opponent, Swansea City, former Premier League team, formed in 1912, led by manager Alan Sheehan, find themselves 13th in the Championship, which is the league below the Premier League, for any of you guys that are unaware. Having a look at their form, been a bit inconsistent. Won their last game at home to Norwich City 2-1 on Saturday. They lost to Queen's Park Rangers before that at home 1-0. 12 games into the Championship season, right down the middle here. 4 wins, 4 draws, 4 losses. Now, they beat Crawley Town at home 3-1 in the first round of the EFL Cup to progress to the second round, where they drew 1-1 against Plymouth Argyle at home, and they went through winning 5-3 on penalties before Swansea beat Nottingham Forest at home by 3-2 in the third round. Gives them another home tie, 4th consecutive home tie for them, where they're taking on Manchester City. If this game finishes level, by the way, after 90 minutes, there will be no extra time. It will be straight to penalties. Now, having a look at the dangers for Swansea City, I'm firstly looking at their attack. I'm looking at their striker, Vipotnik, up top, fresh from a brace this weekend against Norwich City. A danger that City need to be careful of. They do have other options. Liam Cullen in midfield. I know they've got options like Ida and Fulton. They were both featured on the bench, I think, in their last game against Norwich City. And I'm afraid to say, I'm not a Swansea City expert. I don't watch them week in, week out. So my knowledge doesn't really go much beyond where the dangers lie, in particular for Swansea's attack. I'm sure we're going to find out more information during the game, and of course after the game, and Swansea City are going to be looking to try and get another big scalp. Already knocked out Premier League Nottingham Forest, and they're going to be looking here to try and go for the big gun Manchester City as well. So we've got to be wary. We've got to play a very good game to win this game and progress to the quarterfinals of the competition. Now, in terms of injury news, Ricardo Santos misses out on this game, so I'm expecting Swansea to go with a 4-1-4-1 formation. Vigouroux starting in goal, Key, Kambonga, Burgess and Timon starting as their defence, with Stamich in defence in midfield, Cullen and Galbraith further ahead, Ronald on one side, Jisung on the other, and Vipotnik starting up top. Now, Manchester City, formed in 1894, we're led by manager Pep Guardiola, find ourselves 5th in the Premier League right now. Now, before the weekend, we had won 7 of our last 9 games in all competitions. We was unbeaten in their 9 games in all comps as well. However, on Sunday afternoon, we lost away from home against Aston Villa, ending our very fine form by 1-0. So pretty much time for a response, and also a bit of a back to the drawing board for Manchester City. Now, in the third round, Manchester City took on Huddersfield Town away from home. Man City kept a clean sheet and won that game by 2-0 in what was a fairly comfortable game for Manchester City, with City progressing here to the 4th round. Now, in terms of injuries for Man City, the good news is Rodri and Khusanov both train ahead of this game. I wouldn't risk them in this game, though. We don't need to. I'd make both of them players available for selection for our game at the weekend against AFC Bournemouth. I don't think I'd feature them off the bench. I'd ease them in because I'm keeping one eye here on their recovery. And the last thing we want is, as we head towards another international break in a couple of weeks' time, is just before that international break, they pick up another injury and they're out for another 3, 4, 5 weeks or even worse than that. So it's very important here that Manchester City manage that game time and manage how many minutes each of these players recovering from these injuries are getting, because Rodri obviously recovering from a very serious ACL injury, and Pep Guardiola has already confirmed in terms of Khusanov that his injury was in a very dangerous place, and it's got to be very careful in terms of his recovery, because if City aren't careful and he ends up damaging this area once more again, then he's going to end up being out for a long time. So we've got to be wary of that. So I'm expecting City to rotate in this team, so I'm expecting City to line up with a 4-1-4-1 formation. I'm going to pop up my team prediction now. Some first team players in there, some players who desperately need minutes, and a little bit more rotation in place for City as well. So Trafford needs minutes, got to be doing the 90 minutes here for Manchester City. I'm looking at the back four: Matheus, Nunes at right back. I'm going Rayan Ait-Nouri at left back. I know he wasn't in the squad for City's game at the weekend against Villa. I think that was just down to maybe him just not being 100% fit, or City starting to get players back from injury, so everybody can't feature in the squad. And I think Ait-Nouri City just didn't want to take the risk. He's recently been injured, so they've said, you know what, if we need players to miss out in the match day squad, then Ait-Nouri is going to be that player. But Ait-Nouri needs minutes, so I'd be starting him here. I'm going Ruben Diaz and Nathan Ake as our two centre backs. I don't think I'd give another game for John Stones, and with Khusanov being out injured, our options at the back pretty limited when it comes to rotation. Into midfield though, all change. I'm going Mateo, Kovacic to hold in defensive midfield. He's going to have the support of Rico. He's going to be given a bit more freedom to get forward and try and help Manchester City. I thought Rico looked very good against Villarreal last week, so I'd be giving him another opportunity here. In midfield, got to be a full 90 minutes for me for Rayan Cherki. Same with Omar Marmoush, who I put as my striker. And I'm going Oscar Bobb because I feel like he needs a big performance here on the right wing. And I'm going Jeremy Doku on the left wing, which means Savinho does miss out. So plenty of rotation, much needed minutes for the likes of Cherki, for Marmoush, for Kovacic, for Ait-Nouri, for Ake, and for James Trafford as well. Could even see Nico O'Reilly and Calvin Phillips get some minutes here as well. Savinho, though, does miss out. It'll be interesting to see in terms of the goalkeeping situation. Is Donnarumma going to be on the bench? And if they do go with Donnarumma, is there going to be any other goalkeepers on the bench? And if there is it going to be Ortega, who, I'll be honest, I forgot that he was here. Same with Calvin Phillips as well. Or will it be Bettinelli? Man City starting to get lots of players back, so I find not just the starting 11 interesting, I find the substitute bench and who makes the squad interesting, and who misses out, and who's going to sit this one out completely and have a full rest ahead of some big games coming up before we hit the next international break, including that home game at the weekend against AFC Bournemouth. So, in terms of my score prediction for this game, I'm going for a solid 2-0 win on the road once more for Man City. Same result, similar kind of performance as what we had against Huddersfield. I'm going with Marmoush to grab a goal in the first half, and I fancy Rayan Cherki to make something happen in the second half, so I'm backing him to score as well. Now, I don't want this to come across as me taking Swansea City lightly. I'm not. They knocked out Forest in the third round. They're going to want to cause an upset. There's a place in the quarter-final on the line, and once teams get to the quarter-final, they'll take this competition very seriously because it's got the word final in there. You're one win away from the semi-final. You're a couple of wins in the semi-final away from a day out at Wembley, and you look at it and you say we're only one more win after that away from winning a domestic honour, and it is a major trophy. So a major trophy on the line. We want to be looking to make progress. We went trophyless last season, so the EFL Cup, we've got to be taking it serious. Man City, one of the most successful, I think they're the second most successful EFL Cup team in history, just behind Liverpool. So City will be taking this serious, and we've not won it in a few years. So to be honest, I'd like to see City taking this serious, and if we can get to the quarter-final, you can assess from there and see who we do draw from that. Now, in terms of my betting tips, I'm going Omar Marmoush. He's going to be doing 90 minutes, as is Rayan Cherki. I fancy both of these players, two very, experienced world-class players as far as I'm concerned. I don't think it'll take long for these players to hit the ground running, and I'm looking at Marmoush and Cherki. If they're wanting regular playing time with Man City, playing in the Premier League and the Champions League as well, when they get given their opportunity, they've got to grab it with both hands. We can find a way to make Omar Marmoush work in our team. We can find a way to make Rayan Cherki work in our team. What they've got to do to get that opportunity is score and assist goals here, because that's going to put tremendous pressure onto the rest of the attackers that have been starting in Man City's Premier League and Champions League games, including that of Jeremy Doku, on Savinho, on Oscar Bobb, on Phil Foden. I'm not going to say Erling Haaland because he's been in tremendous goal-scoring form, but you get the point that I'm trying to make here, so we'll see. I don't think in terms of my betting tips I'm going to touch on cards, because I don't think this is going to be too much of a physical game going on here, so I think I'd probably recommend staying clear of cards. Maybe corners, we'll see. Anyway, next up, Swansea City. They're back in Championship action at the weekend. They're taking on Charlton Athletic away at the Valley at 3 p.m. on Saturday. For City, we're back to the Etihad Stadium finally, and we're going to be taking on AFC Bournemouth at home on Sunday at 4:30 p.m. GMT. Last note, I'm going to be back with another live watch-along for this game, and we're going live at 7:15 p.m. GMT tomorrow for this game. So do come and join me for that. I'll have the link out to that live stream out on my channel later on today for you to go and set your reminders for, and I will see you all for that live watch-along. So that has been today's preview. Please do leave a thumbs up. It lets me know that you are enjoying the videos. Do get your thoughts in the comments below, including your score and team prediction for this game. Don't forget as well to subscribe to my channel. It is free to subscribe. I'm going to keep you guys up to date with all the latest City news here on YouTube. Also, don't forget social media links in the description too if you want to go and follow me on my X, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And finally, do go and check out today's video sponsor, which is brought to you by SofaScore. I'll see you all again for the live watch along of this game tomorrow. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.